Did you know Azerbaijan planned a jaw-dropping $100 billion megaproject that was meant to rival Dubai's iconic Palm Islands? But instead, what was envisioned as a bustling paradise has turned into a ghost town. We are talking about the Khazar Islands, also known as the Caspian Islands. In this video, we'll dive into the ambitious Khazar Islands project, explore the hidden oil empire that fueled its dreams, and uncover the unforeseen challenges that caused it to come to a screeching halt. Before we begin, did you know that over 90% of people who watch Design Zip videos aren't subscribed? If you subscribe, it really helps grow the channel, and you may also find our next video interesting too. Thanks for your support. To really understand why the Khazar Islands project started with so much promise and then just fell off a cliff, you have got to know one secret about Azerbaijan. It is sitting on a massive oil empire. Most people don't realize this because, let's be honest, Azerbaijan is not exactly a famous country like the UAE or Saudi Arabia when it comes to luxury developments. It is not the first place you think of for tall skyscrapers or megaprojects. But the thing is, Azerbaijan has been quietly building its oil empire for years. Technically, Azerbaijan is landlocked, but it is right in the middle of Europe and Asia. And that gives it some serious geopolitical advantage. You have probably heard of Baku. It's the capital city. Just take one look at its skyline, and you will see that Azerbaijan knows how to build tall and bold. They have it all, from tall towers to skyscrapers and large shopping centres. Its incredible skyline tells us that this is not just a small city in a small country in the game. It has great potential. You see, Azerbaijan's wealth mostly comes from one major source, oil. And not just a little oil. We are talking the kind of oil that makes nations rich. Azerbaijan's oil story goes way back. In the early 1900s, it was producing so much oil that at one point, this small country was responsible for more than half of the world's oil supply. It was just a tiny country being the global leader in oil production. After the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, Azerbaijan found itself independent, and its oil industry started booming again, opening up to the world. They built the right infrastructure to make sure their oil could reach the global market, including a 1,700-kilometre pipeline that stretches from Baku all the way to Turkey's Mediterranean coast. This pipeline is what made Azerbaijan one of Europe's major oil suppliers. That's a lot of money rolling in. But there is a catch. You see, Azerbaijan didn't really have a global image to match its oil wealth. Sure, they were making billions, but they didn't have anything flashy or iconic to show off to the world. No Burj Khalifa. No Palm Islands like Dubai. For a country with that much money, there was still something missing. And that's where the idea of the Khazar Islands appears in this story. Let's take a step back to 2010, where the story of this now ghost town begins. It started with a man and a dream. That man is Ibrahim Ibrahimov, a billionaire businessman from Azerbaijan. That year, Ibrahimov was flying from Dubai back to his home in Baku. He was looking out the airplane window, and there, laid out beneath him, was the sprawling, man-made wonder of Dubai, Palm Jumeirah, those glistening skyscrapers and the luxury developments. It hit him. Why doesn't Azerbaijan have something like this? Why not create a project that would transform the country's coastline, just like Dubai had done? He wanted to build something big, bold and breathtaking that would put Azerbaijan on the global stage. The idea could not wait. Right there, on the plane, he grabbed a piece of paper and started sketching. This was not just a few doodles of buildings though. It was a vision of a city that would rise from the sea and become a symbol of Azerbaijan's ambition and wealth. By the time he landed in Baku, the wheels were already turning. Without wasting a second, he took that sketch to an architect and said, "Let's build this." And thus, the Khazar Islands project was born. This was going to be an artificial archipelago of 55 islands stretching across the Caspian Sea. Ibrahimov wanted to create a whole new world. He pitched it as the new Venice, but even that comparison didn't quite capture the scale of his plans. It was much bigger than Venice. This was going to be a self-contained city, full of luxury residences, commercial hubs, entertainment centres, and even a skyscraper taller than the Burj Khalifa. He was going to name it the Azerbaijan Tower. It all sounds fantastic, right? But then, of course, a project of this size needs a serious amount of cash. The budget was estimated to be $100 billion. This was not something you could just finance out of pocket, even if you are a billionaire. Azerbaijan had oil wealth, sure, but even that was not enough to fund the entire project. They needed investors, and big ones. International investors showed some interest, but $100 billion is not a figure you casually toss into a project. That kind of money demands guarantees, and that's where things started to get tricky. Now, let's look at the actual structure of the city itself. We're not talking about a typical city layout here. This was an incredibly ambitious master plan. 55 islands, all connected by bridges, roads and tunnels. The islands were going to be divided into different zones. Some would be residential areas with luxury villas and high-rise apartments, catering to the world's elite. Others would be commercial districts, full of high-end retail stores, business towers and fancy restaurants. There were plans for entire entertainment zones, like world-class amusement parks, theatres and sports complexes. The islands were designed to offer everything anyone could ever want without ever having to leave. All in all, Ibrahimov wanted to build a functioning city, complete with hospitals, schools and even a university. It was supposed to be a place where people could live, work and play all in one location. You could wake up in your luxury villa, grab breakfast at the waterfront cafe, go to a meeting in a gleaming office tower, then finish the day watching a Formula One race or lounging on a private beach. This was not some simple plan for just a city. Ibrahimov wanted to build a lifestyle. Let's not forget the facilities. There were plans to build sports arenas that could host international events, a Formula One racetrack for all the speed lovers out there, and even an airport. That's right, the Khazar Islands were going to have their own airport, making it super convenient for international visitors to fly directly to this man-made paradise without ever stepping foot in mainland Azerbaijan. And if that was not enough, how about an underwater hotel? Yes, guests were going to be able to stay in luxury rooms submerged beneath the sea, with panoramic views of the Caspian's marine life swimming around them. Ibrahimov was not interested in just making another luxury destination. He was aiming to create an experience so exclusive, so out of this world that it would attract billionaires, tourists, and investors alike. But, as the saying goes, the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. Despite all the ambition and excitement, the project soon ran into its fair share of hurdles. That's what happens when you're trying to raise $100 billion and convince the world that this city rising from the sea would be the next best thing. It was not long before reality started setting in. So, what happened? What were these unforeseen circumstances? Construction on the Khazar Islands began with big dreams and high hopes in March 2011. Azerbaijan was riding an economic boom, and Ibrahimov's vision seemed to be right on track. The plans were ambitious, and by 2014 they had already managed to open the main beach area. Skyscrapers were beginning to rise, the groundwork was laid, and the excitement around the project was real. Everyone, including the investors, was looking forward to it, and everything seemed to be moving forward. But then came the unforeseen blow that no one could have predicted: the global oil price crash in 2015. Azerbaijan's economy took a massive hit. Suddenly, the flow of money needed to keep this project alive dried up. What looked like a sure thing a year earlier was now facing a monumental financial crisis. Not just that, Ibrahimov's company, Avesta, went deeply into debt, $57 million to be exact. They owed it to the International Bank of Azerbaijan. So, things quickly spiraled out of control. Investors backed off and progress came to a grinding halt. Ibrahimov was even arrested for failing to repay the debt, adding yet another layer of complexity to the crisis. The place, which would have soon welcomed millions of tourists from around the world, now became a ghost town. By the time he was released, Ibrahimov was still optimistic. He promised that the Khazar Islands would be completed between 2020 and 2025. He said that potential investors from China are stepping in to bridge the financial gap. But we are not so sure about that. As we look at the satellite images of the construction site, we see abandoned buildings, half-finished roads, and a strange emptiness. The Grand Tower, which was supposed to be taller than the Burj Khalifa, never got off the ground. Not even the foundations were dug out. The entire area has since been taken over by a state-owned company, which has conducted studies to determine alternative uses for the land. But, as of now, nothing has been revealed to the public. Azerbaijan's oil reserves are still not stable, and the world is shifting away from fossil fuels. The dream of the Khazar Islands seems just that, a dream. Will we see it completed by 2025? Maybe. But for now, it is a waiting game. So, how do you think they can bring this project back to life? What would it take to solve this financial crisis? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.